Hey, it's the Riot. This is our podcast.
Good morning.
It's just a little thing we do.
Good afternoon or good day to you.
What movie is that from? Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
What is that from?
The Truman Show.
The Truman Show. Yeah, that was all right.
No, wait.
No one said anything about if it was good or bad. I just meant I don't remember it enough because it's not like my favorite.
I wasn't making a quality statement at all.
Well, I felt like you expected me to know it, and I don't like love the Truman Show like that, so I don't remember movie quotes like you do.
Boy, isn't that right?
Yeah, I just can't.
Why is it? Everything reminds me of something I saw in a movie.
It does.
It's been that way my whole life. And I can't fix it.
And it'll continue to be that way.
I've quit trying to fix it. It's just the way it is. Somebody quotes Shakespeare and you're like, oh.
But see, you can remember movie quotes from movies that you don't even care about.
That's right.
Whereas to me, I felt disappointed that I didn't know the movie quote because I just didn't care for the movie.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I didn't take the time to put it in that memory.
Like this weekend, I didn't either. It just went there.
It just went there.
Yeah, I just grabbed a hold of that. No problem. You know what it comes down to, Nikki? I love words.
Yes.
And I love the way the words play together.
And you just love to remember the special statements that you hear.
Yep, it's just one of those things. So today in the podcast, here's some words you might not love. We unravel a conspiracy that right now may be sucking your life away. We also thank you, everyone, for sending us details about Space Force.
There's no way we could have missed that. There's no way.
So we talk that. We talk Bumblebee and Nikki's stance. MasterCard, Pop-Tart cereal, horses for horse meat. Oh, and you know what I haven't put in here yet, but I need to.
We had a chance to talk for the first time to Apollo LTD, which when you're done with this podcast, for our interviews, you can watch us talk with them. That's on our RadioU Riot Facebook page and RadioU Riot, our YouTube channel, if you want to subscribe there, which is also where our Worship Riot podcast goes, so you can listen daily if you want through YouTube.
Yeah. Anything else?
Have a wonderful...
It's only Thursday.
Time today. Have a wonderful time today.
I say it's only Thursday, and what a relief that we have more life to live.
Yes, we have another chance for another great podcast tomorrow.
All right. High fives, everybody. It's the Riot.
Ever wonder what Nikki is doing when she isn't rioting? Find her Twitter feed at riot.radiou.com. Obadiah's is there too, but who cares what he's doing?
Here's the thing. I have a Honda. I drive a Honda. And the clock inside my car is almost always 3 minutes fast. Now, I keep fixing it, and it keeps being 3 minutes fast.
Wonder how that works.
I don't know. Like, it just keeps happening over and over again. But here's where it gets weirder.
Yeah.
I've got a friend that also has a Honda.
Is Honda time always ahead?
Their Honda is always 3 minutes behind.
So that's weird.
So... you begin to ask yourself, like, well, maybe they just have a software malfunction that messes with the time, 3 minutes in one direction, blah, blah, blah. And
you'd think it'd be the same direction, though.
You would think so. But maybe they put in a piece of software that's like, or a piece of code that's like, hey, we're compensating for the problem in this clock, but now it's overcompensating in the same direction.
Maybe it's something the dealer chooses when you pick the car. They're like, well, this person seems more like they're 3 minutes late all the time, or this person's always early, so we're going to, compensate with that.
I would like to put out there a different potential option. It could be that Honda is hiding a device in each one of their cars that is sucking away parts of your life 3 minutes at a time and then giving that 3 minutes to someone else. And they are changing your clocks so that you're not aware that they're stealing time. And just like you've heard from so many other places, they're just stealing it like just 1 penny. But if you take 1 penny from every day, pretty soon you've got $3.65.
It adds up.
And you didn't even know it.
Is anybody else a Honda owner? Like, if you look at your clock, is it ahead or is it behind?
Have your friends said anything to you about either A, premature aging, or B, you always seem so young?
So young and maybe you still drive a Honda?
You have a baby face. So you're always getting carded.
Let's see. Ryan just texted from Kansas. He said, my Honda's time is just right. What is this, Goldilocks? It's like ahead, behind, or just right.
Well, maybe Ryan is he's the control group, or maybe Ryan is one of the ones that's getting the life. They're giving it to him, but they're stealing it from others of us. Can't be sure. I mean, It could just be a clock flaw, but I want you to open up your mind a little bit and consider some possibilities.
So let us know again if you're in a Honda, are you ahead, just right, or are you behind for the clock?
Just a little bit is all it takes.
I think
a little bit at a time. If
your clock was behind though, because then that way it's a better chance of you not being late.
At least I'm showing up, quote unquote, on time.
What you think is on time, or even a couple of minutes of wiggle room.
But in reality, I'm running out of time.
Some have said that if you just keep listening to The Riot, you'll learn to love them. Has that really worked for anybody yet? Has anyone tested that? It's The Riot on RadioU.
I didn't catch their name, but we did just get a text from someone at 877-2-RADIO-U that says, I have a Dodge. It's 3 minutes fast. When I was 18, people thought I was 30.
Oh, did they?
They've been sucking your life away.
Well, feel free to text again anytime, 877-2-RADIO-U. If you've not texted before or told us before, let us know your name as well, and we'll add that to it.
This is from The Princess Bride. Nikki, remember the machine? That is the sound of ultimate suffering. That is the sound that my heart made when my father died. So that machine sucks away a year of your life. Not to 50! So
it's just your clock's ahead, just by a couple minutes.
You know what, Nikki?
Is that not enough?
No, that's what they want you to think. That's what they want you to think.
Okay.
So
it seems like everybody, though, has it's been various cars that people have been texting about.
Right, which
so I don't
means
feel like it's a Honda thing. I feel like it's an automotive thing.
Right, which means what? The conspiracy goes deeper than we think.
Probably.
We thought it was just Honda, but what we've actually got here, a bunch of lizard people with a Mars base, that they're out there putting these machines in our cars, taking a little bit of our life at a time. And we've always been afraid, like, oh, the aliens will come and eat us. Bro, they're eating us now, just a little bit at a time. Every time you start your car, you're melting the ice cap, so they'll have something to drink while they eat your life force.
So they have some water with it.
It's all part of a plan.
All right, well, we're going to file that away as a possibility, and we'll put it over there.
Anybody else hear the tone?
No, we're not dismissing it. We're just putting it over there.
You're ready to move on. That's the tone. That's the tone.
Well, it is time.
Yeah. Really? Are we early or late?
We're about 3 minutes
Which
early
one
to do
is
that.
it?
Well, I'm just letting you know. You know, I am the keeper of the time. I am neither earlier nor late.
Oh, so you're a wizard.
We're right on time.
All right.
Send your complaints regarding that worst of the riot moment to Fire Obadiah at RadioU.com.
Just got a text from Jake in Powell. He texted 877-2-RADIO-U.
First off, good job, everybody, for texting.
Yeah. You guys know how to use your phones, and we're proud. He says, as an employee of Honda, I found that last conversation quite interesting. I can neither confirm nor deny that we are sucking your life away,
now, Jake,
which is exactly what they would say.
I know we talked about Honda as an Obi's car, but again, a lot of people texted in talking about their car clocks being wrong, so I don't think it's just a Honda thing.
It's happening at the highest levels.
And I think for some people, maybe we just don't I don't look at my car clock too often. I don't feel like I do. So maybe it's just where the car manufacturer's like, they're not even looking anyways. Who cares?
I'm going to tell you right now, Nikki, that it's funny you bring that up because this is not what we were going to talk about. I wanted us to talk about Space Force.
Which is coming in a second.
We'll get to that in a minute. Here's what I have realized this week. This week I've been trying something new. I have an obsession with the clock.
Yeah.
And what time it is all the time. And I didn't realize it, really, I think, until this week. I mean, in high school, I got a watch for Christmas, and I had to stop wearing it because I was too focused on the clock. But this week...
Meaning like it puts pressure on you, feel like time's going away? Yes.
And so this week, I have forced myself to not pay attention to the time. And that includes, when I'm at work... this is so dumb, but this is straight up. When I'm at the radio station, I have an alarm on my phone that tells me when it's time to leave. But until then, I'm just here.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about what time it is. I don't have to worry about anything else. I can just focus on my time here and nowhere else. What are you doing this afternoon? I don't even know.
Because it doesn't tell me.
When are you going to figure it out?
Don't know.
When the sound goes off. When the sound goes off, then I'll start thinking about that. But right now, I got to think about this.
You don't like to check every so often because then you have okay, I got an hour to go. You got like a countdown going on.
Well, remember, we're 4 days into this. Okay. So it's not...
it's not a perfect science
I don't have all the kinks worked out here. But here's what I have noticed. I'm way calmer. Like, not paying attention to what time it is, I'm way calmer. And, of course, then you're like, well, then you're going to miss your meeting or your appointment.
He hasn't made a meeting yet, but it's fine.
It's
He's
totally
calm.
fine. No, like, productivity, way up.
That's good.
Like, I'm so much happier. Same thing at night. Like, at home, I'm just like, doesn't matter what time it is. But when are you going to eat? Whenever I'm hungry, I don't care what time it is.
So you're going to cover your clock in your car or something?
No, it's still there. I mean, you can't live without a clock. Like, not in our society. You got to have it.
We can. It just might not work out for you.
Okay. In this particular field that we have chosen, I need my clock.
You need to get here on time.
But what I'm saying is that basically when I'm transitioning, I need to know what time it is.
Sure.
But like when I'm in the middle of the thing I'm doing, I'm trying not to think about the time, like what time it is, how much time it's taking, how I need to hurry up and get to the next thing. I'm just like, hey, I'm here. I'm not going to worry about the other thing. And then when the beep goes,
then you know you can move.
Then I know it's time for me to move on to the next thing.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I got a real clock problem.
Your eyes are like, whoa!
Not that you would get that from the discussions we've been having this morning.
Not that we just had that, no.
Nobody clued into that at all.
Make a note, no one get Obi a watch or anything along those lines for anything in the future.
Well, think about it, though, Nikki. With what you and I have just discussed and my clock problem, I would have a clock problem if the clock was slowly sucking my life away, wouldn't I?
You would have an issue.
Maybe subconsciously, I know something's wrong.
How does Nikki put up with Obadiah day after day? It's easy. We pay her. Radio U.
Hey, y'all. Space Force!
We'd like to introduce you to the story of literally every message we received in the last, 10 hours.
High fives to everybody, though. I love that we managed to, in your mind, Space Force equals the riot equals Space Force.
It does. All the tweets, all the Facebook messages, people we haven't heard from in years came out and were like, here, Space Force.
I had somebody tweeted me, hey, haven't gotten caught up on the podcast, but have you talked about Space Force? And I'm like, wait, did you say Space Force? Yeah, because I'm going to be in charge of it someday.
Well, for this might not be the Space Force we talked about previously.
Here's the idea. So yesterday, along with a price increase, everybody's mad at Netflix, right? And then Netflix is like, not for long, bro. Not for long.
This is why we're increasing the price.
So Steve Carell of The Office fame, along with a couple of other people, are going to be producing, and he's going to be starring in Space Force. It's an office-based docu-comedy, which is what The Office was. But it's going to be about them establishing Space Force.
Which, if you do not remember...
I'm so excited about that.
When President Trump announced the creation of Space Force, it was last fall, wasn't it?
Did you say Space Force?
I did.
Okay, sorry.
A sixth branch of the U.S. military.
Sweet.
And so that brought on a lot of attention and people having fun with it. Obi wanted to join. He wanted
to lead it.
He wanted to be the leader of Space Force, and I had no idea that he was doing a TV show about it.
I want to be Supreme Space Marshal Obadiah. Ooh, that sounds good.
So they're calling it, the Workplace Comedy Series. It is with Steve Carell and co-created with The Office's Greg Daniels.
Right. Now, everybody's like, man, everything they made since The Office sucks, so it doesn't matter. Bro, this is the one you're waiting on. This is it.
I'm actually looking forward to, and I feel like Netflix, I just don't get as much, just a nice, relaxed comedy. So, nothing blindfolded, nothing too intense, no, big dramatic sort of TV series. I just want a nice comedy, and maybe this will be it.
Something that'll make you laugh.
Yeah, but this is why the price increase. Like he could, they're saying top $1 million per episode for this, for Space Force.
Wow.
And that's a lot of money.
Would I pay an extra $2 a month for Space Force?
No.
The federal government's going to make me do that already. I don't know.
The only thing I couldn't catch is when is it going to be released?
I thought I read that it was going to be this fall. But I could be wrong about that. But I would swear that I read that. But I read multiple articles about it, so could be wrong. Speaking of shows in space that might make you laugh, I watched... my dad got me to watch 2 episodes of The Orville last night.
Oh, no. Just something about that show.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just don't connect with that.
Can't.
I don't know why.
I laughed. I was surprised by how good the writing. There was one episode in particular I watched. I was like, "This is pretty good writing."
Well,
Like
it's still
I was
on,
surprised by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still making it. So the last thing that Seth MacFarlane needs, or Steve Carell for that matter, is for me to like something they're doing.
Kissing goodbye.
Because that'll be the harbinger of failure. Likes your show. That's the end of your show.
So thank you again to everybody for sending us the information on Space Force.
Hey, high fives all around. I love it when you guys send us stuff, and I especially love it when everybody's like, "This is the riot," and I'm just
so
like,
excited.
"Yes."
We're excited too. Like, we'll watch an episode. We'll watch it.
Thanks, friends.
It's the radio equivalent of going to McDonald's and ordering a fish fillet. Hey, that's one of my favorite things from Mickey D's. The worst of the riot on Radio U.
It's not getting very supportive in here.
Why?
It's kind of like a pair of shoes that you've just worn too many times.
Do you want someone to support you, or do you want someone who will just tell you what they're feeling and maybe support you by motivating you to make a different choice?
So
What do you want?
manipulating you.
No, not manipulating you.
So like you're a pair of orthotics trying to force my feet to go in directions they don't want to go.
If you want to think of me that way, then that's fine.
But it's for the best.
It's better. It just might hurt along the way.
Yeah, but eventually it'll even itself out. Okay, so I signed up for the movie service, the AMC A-List, so I can go see 3 movies a week. Well, it resets tomorrow, so I probably better get to the movies today.
You already saw Spider-Man.
Yes, Into the Spider-Verse, and loved it. So here's the thing. I know this is going to sound cray-cray, everybody, but I have just become fascinated with Bumblebee. I want to see it. Bumblebee
No
has...
one said that before.
It has a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
I keep hearing from people that are like, look, it's the sleeper hit.
No, because no one's even seeing it, though.
You won't think that it could possibly be any good, and instead, it's fantastic.
And I told him that's coming from critics who are doing these reviews who've been paid off by Bumblebee movie money.
Well, Nikki, look here. Transformers The Last Night, which was the one they did, was it 2 years ago? I still haven't seen that. 15% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, but that was supposed to be terrible.
But here's Bumblebee, 92%. Bumblebee, here's the critics' consensus, according to Rotten Tomatoes. Bumblebee proves it's possible to bring fun and a sense of wonder back to a bloated, blockbuster franchise, and sets up its own slate of sequels in the bargain. What if it's really good?
Yeah, but I feel like that one's a good at-home movie. That I would think you wouldn't be okay with, like, not seeing it in a theater.
Nikki wants me to go see Aquaman instead.
That seems more fun in a theater, less impressive when you take it home.
Do you know what?
Sometimes movies don't have, if they have a lower rating, it's more entertaining when you're in a theater with more people.
I will tell you why I was thinking Bumblebee today and then Aquaman next week. Because, one, I'm way behind the times either way.
These are all before Christmas movies.
I'm way playing catch up, so that doesn't matter. But Aquaman is killing it at the box office. It is now at the point where it's made over $1 billion worldwide. Bumblebee has almost made back a quarter. And so my thought was...
Not $250,000, a quarter.
I mean, a quarter.
An actual quarter.
So my thought was, if I go see Bumblebee now, the chances are I'll actually see it in the theater. If I wait, it's going to go away.
It might go away.
Whereas Aquaman has got some staying power, and it's going to be there for a while.
Yeah, because sometimes it's nicer, even though they're both older movies, to see it in the bigger theater.
Right.
So Aquaman's probably still doing that. Listen, you can do whatever you want. I'm just telling you,
here it comes.
If you had to choose between the two, but it seems like you're trying to make more time to go back to the movies. So if you promise us,
I promise you I'll see both.
Yeah, and then what's after that? Like, are you seeing Mary Poppins, or what are you doing?
I thought about it because, again, Nikki, remember we have lowered the bar so much. I would also like to see Creed 2. But
is that still even in theaters?
They have showings at 9:00 at night, and it is at this theater where I'm at, so it's kind of too late. That hits video on demand February 12th. So
might as well wait that one out.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make it. I need a midday screening to make that work.
If not, okay, here's our last thing, and then we're done with the movie talk. So, Monday we have the day off.
Oh, we do. You're right.
What if you saw a Sunday night 9:00 movie?
That's not bad.
That could be an option.
Not bad, Nikki.
Because that also seems like a good movie in theaters.
Let's see. Derek says A Dog's Way Home, incredible movie.
He doesn't do
dog
that.
movies.
That'd be
Spider
the very
movies,
bottom of it.
Fish movies, robot movies, but I don't do dog
Mary
movies.
Poppins would even come before that one.
Mary Poppins, it's got, what's her name in it from the Tom Cruise movie?
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt, she was in Sicario and the other one. So does she flex her big muscle arms in this movie?
I don't think she had to work out for this one.
Oh, okay. Well, all right.
Waking up with the Riot makes your nightmares not seem so bad. Actually, you might want to just go back to sleep. Radio U.
Nikki, I want you to get out your wallet and show me all your credit cards.
I only use one.
Okay.
I have one. I have all other alternates.
Yeah.
Like in emergency situations, but I have one credit card.
What's your primary?
It's a Visa Costco card.
That's all I needed to know.
Yeah.
It's a Visa. Okay. So is mine. No. Actually, I've been trying to funnel everything through American Express because I'm getting airline miles like
really?
it matters.
See, it used to be Amex because that's what Costco used.
Right.
But it really goes with whatever they go.
So my debit card is a Visa. The one thing I don't have is I don't have any MasterCards.
Is that even used anymore? It seems like
Nothing.
an old card.
No, they're still out there, and they want to get competitive. And so here's the announcement that they've made, and I'll have to be honest, kind of love it, okay? MasterCard has they have come up with this system where if you're on a free trial for something, they can't charge you until you okay the charge. So, let's say you set up a 7-day free trial of Hulu and you're paying for it with your MasterCard.
Yeah.
And you forgot to turn the trial off, which is there are plenty of online businesses. That's how they get you.
They get you for a couple of months.
3-day free trial. You're going to forget to renew, whatever. Well, MasterCard has come up with this thing where they have to notify you. They have to send you a text message or an email, and you have to thumbs up the charge.
If not,
they will not run the bill for you.
Because they're not running it at the start of your trial.
Right.
No one does that.
That's exactly right.
But I would think that it's on you, and they would have to run it if the company said it was over the time. That's what you agreed to in the beginning.
Here's the exact text of their press release. Sign up for a free trial and provide your MasterCard number for your payment information. When the free trial comes to an end, the merchant will be required to send you a text or email notifying you that you'll have to pay to continue the subscription.
I don't mean this to be rude, though, but are all these merchants allowing MasterCard as an option for payment?
Well, that's what I think this will lead to.
I don't know if a lot of people do that, and if so, they're not going to want to use them as an option for payment.
The message must also include instructions on how to cancel in case you decide you're better off without it.
I think that's a nice feature, but I don't sign up enough trials to switch, to start going with another credit card.
Even if you opt to give the merchant permission to charge you, they're required to send you monthly receipts to show that they've run the charge, which I use PayPal for a bunch of that. They send Netflix that way. I don't know, but they always send receipts for stuff like that. But it's an interesting idea, but you are right. I just imagine this makes it almost impossible to use a MasterCard online.
Probably.
Because a lot of companies will be like, man, charging people that forget is how we make our money. That's how public gyms have been making their money for 40 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Sign up and forget about it.
So they're not going to just start loving on MasterCard, even though that actually sounds like a nice feature.
A great feature.
If all credit cards kind of got their act together and forced to happen, that'd be nice as some sort of law. It's around now you're required to make sure the place notifies you.
Works for me.
Yeah, but not enough to switch.
No, certainly not.
Want to know what the Riot is doing right now? Follow them on Instagram and Twitter at riot.radiou.com. It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
I'm trying to find, there she is. I want to say good morning to Melanie. Nikki, last night Melanie saw something and had said something.
Yeah.
You see something,
and
you say
speak
something.
Up, you tell us.
And last night she sent me a little note about a new cereal that's going to be available, she says, right now at Walmart. She says she saw it at Walmart.
What is it?
It's Pop-Tart cereal.
Now, that's not new cereal, though.
It's not?
No, Pop-Tart cereal has been, it first introduced in 1994.
What the what? What?
So it's been gone for a long, long time, but they said that there's been such a resurgence of 90s items that it's included in that. So they have frosted strawberry and frosted brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tart cereal, but it is not new.
I want the brown sugar cinnamon one because they can keep that stupid strawberry.
I wonder if it tastes better in cereal form, though. But for us, we always get in our break room, someone gets us the Costco variety pack, which means 2 flavors, the strawberry or the brown sugar, but you don't know which one you're going to get until you open.
You know how to figure it out?
You open a little corner of it?
No, you just rub the one side because the strawberry one has flecks.
Really?
But the brown sugar one doesn't.
Not?
Yeah.
Oh, but otherwise, I would always be bummed when you would accidentally open the strawberry one.
I'm always glad to be able to teach people things.
You know that's a life hack?
And it's really sad that today the thing that I was able to share with Nikki was how to figure out the Pop-Tarts.
So that you know that you're not opening the one you don't want.
And I wish I had more to offer, but it's all I got.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
So it is it's back in stock on Walmart, but it is not a new cereal.
Okay. Well, okay, but it's not
new in our lifetime.
It's new to us.
Yes, I understand that.
That's like when Pepsi brought back Crystal Pepsi. They're like, in 1992, we released this. It's like, yeah, well, I got a bottle in the back. Let me go get it. So it's chilling next to the Bollinger.
Next to the Pop-Tart cereal.
Okay, well, you know what? I'd like to try it. You know what I'm amazed by? The cereal we taste tested last week is still in the break room.
Know why?
I've been eating it.
You know why?
Because there's no milk?
There's no milk in the fridge.
You guys are all wrong. That cereal is so good dry.
No, you haven't told anybody that. Did you leave a note?
What do you mean?
Saying this cereal is good dry. Feel free to eat.
Hey, listen,
everybody's waiting for someone to go get milk.
You know what? That sounds just like us. I can't go get it. So if somebody brings it, I'll do it.
It does sound like us.
But I can't go get it.
I could drink it all if someone else got it, but I can't get it myself.
I mean, I'll eat everything you bring, but I'm not getting anything from me.
Pretty much. So thank you for sending the details on the Pop-Tart cereal. We will have to look for those.
Yeah.
But I agree. I would be more interested in the frosted brown sugar Pop-Tart cereal than the strawberry one.
Well, yeah. I mean, come on.
Strawberry flavor to me, that's at the bottom.
Man, fruit-flavored Pop-Tarts are a waste of space. I'm sorry, it's true.
He said it, and I agree with him.
You're wrong. No, it's the truth.
I learned it from you.
You just haven't, you're not brave enough to face it.
No,
but we're here to drag you kicking and screaming into the future.
No, we do not like that one as much.
The Riot is now accepting applications for a staff pastry chef. Please drop your resumes and an example of your work at the studio door, and we'll get back to you. Wink, wink. The Riot on Radio U.
Look, let's just cut to the chase. Yesterday sucked. Today's probably going to suck. Tomorrow.
Well, that is just that really motivates you, builds you up.
I'm not done though. Tomorrow probably going to suck.
Probably.
Here's the thing, right? We're supposed to put a smile on. Make it better. Feel better about it.
Fake it until the day becomes better?
Yeah. So think about it like this. When everybody else is telling you put a smile on your face and you're like, man, I can't, it sucks, it all sucks. Maybe it does suck. Maybe today isn't an amazing day. Maybe tomorrow is not an amazing day. I'm not here to tell you to pretend, but I am here to tell you that as unamazing as your circumstances might be, and maybe they're not great, okay? I want you to know that you don't have to face it alone. Seriously. One of my favorite things when I was a kid is my mom would drag me to stuff I hated, but if I knew that my friend Zach was going to be there, it was well, at least Zach will be there. Right? Well, I'm telling you that I can't make any guarantees about today. I don't have any magic words that are going to clean it all up, but I can tell you that your friend Jesus will be there. It just got cheesy, didn't it? Because you're like, oh, come on. Friend Jesus, whatever. He's just a cuss word. I don't even know him. Look, God loves you very much, and he wants to be a part of today. Forget about yesterday. Forget about tomorrow. Think about right now, right where you're at. You don't have to do this moment or the moments that follow by yourself. You can have a friend that's going to go with you. And what I found is that when I take a minute and ask God to go with me, he goes regardless. But when I invite him in and I get aware of the fact that he's around, it helps. It helps me a lot. And so I'm telling you about it because if it helps me, we all know I'm not special. Surely it could help you. Start here. Say, Jesus, I need that. Yesterday sucked. I feel like today's going to suck. I want you to come into my life I want you to fill me with your spirit. I want you to go through today with me. I mean, that's a great way to start. And when things start to really, you say, man, God, it's really, I need some help. Ask him to be a part of it. Ask him to help, and he will.
Let's take all of the most mind-numbing things the Riot has ever said and play them again.
It's a stupid idea, but I love it.
It's the Riot on Radio U.
So if you woken up this morning maybe feeling optimistic about life and your chances in the sea, I just want you to know that there are things out there waiting to eat you.
They are.
Did you see this?
Is it the shark thing?
It's the shark thing, dude.
I clicked on it, but I haven't read it yet.
So they have found what they say is probably the largest great white shark. Well, it's the largest recorded great white shark.
There could be bigger.
So maybe there's bigger. I mean, I saw the Meg, Nikki.
Well, not a legend one, like a megalodon or something, but for this, they say it's the world's largest ever recorded great white shark.
Mm-hmm.
It was eating a whale, and that's where they got pictures. Talk about you just trying to have a meal, and suddenly everybody's taking your picture.
Come on. So here's the deal. They believe this shark, which they call deep blue, it's about 20 feet long.
That's huge. You can't even think that. Like, you
can't
don't even
fathom it.
I don't even know how to put that in perspective. Like, if I was swimming and something was like 20 feet long, I wouldn't even know.
Think about this, Nikki. If I lay down, I'm about 6 feet tall.
Uh-huh.
So imagine like 3.5 of me laying down in the floor. So for like when I lay on the floor, what do you think this room is? 15 feet?
Yeah.
It's probably 15. So think 15 like
and
over.
Keep going.
That shark is over in the other studio.
And not just long, but it's big. It's very big.
They think it's about 2.5 tons.
That's so big.
So this shark was spotted 20 years ago in Mexico, and they named it Deep Blue. And they believe that it's the same shark. Did they have a way that they figured out that it was definitely?
Is it tagged or something? Or
they say they confirmed Deep Blue's identity with the White Shark Authority.
What is that? You don't want to offend them.
I don't want to get involved.
Better not to bring them up.
I don't want to get involved in whatever that means.
They found Deep Blue off the coast of Hawaii, out of Oahu, and they say it was coming in, and it was last spotted in Mexico, and they go to Hawaii just for like just to eat. And
a lot of people do.
That's what they were doing.
A lot of people do that. So wow, dude, look
Big
at
shark.
That. Yeah. And I mean,
not in a sizist way, or no one's judging. It's just that's impressive.
Oh, okay. Jim says that's about as long as a tractor trailer.
Weird.
Like the trailer without the actual semi.
Like, what are you supposed to do? Just just stay still, or are you supposed to punch it in its nose? It's like, this thing's huge.
Nikki, its nose is bigger than your head.
I know, pretty much. Or are you supposed to grab its little side things?
The thing that blows my mind is these divers spot the shark and they're like, we got to get it! So they jump in the water and start taking pictures with it. I'd be like, get the boat to the land!
I don't even think the boat would be safe.
No, it wouldn't.
But that's because we watch all these terrible shark movies and we have an unhealthy fear. All based on the fact,
I'm sorry, Nikki.
The great white shark can jump out of, I don't know, a swimming pool and eat you. Like, we have these unrealistic things.
I'll tell you where it all started for me, aside from Jaws. When I was little, my dad used to take me to this place for swimming lessons, but they also taught diving lessons. So it had this really, really deep pool
end.
It was a separate pool. It was a deep pool that you weren't supposed to get in there. And down there, they had a painting of a little shark on the wall. And I used to sneak up to the side and look down to see the painting of the shark. But I was really scared of it. Yeah. And that's when I knew that sharks were bad and that they can also get you in the pool.
Jason had a good point. They use the top fin as an identifier, a lot like we have a fingerprint.
Yeah. So, well... Good for them.
So they know it's this correct shark.
So what's the study of sharks? We need to know.
Like, what's the name, the title of it?
Yeah, what's the title of that?
Sharkology or maybe? Okay, if it was, it'd be great.
We've got shark biologists. Come on. Elasmobranchology? Yes, I like that. That's the study of sharks and rays. Elasmobranchology. So what are you, Jason? An elasmobrancologist?
It's like, yes, I am. Aaron's a truck driver, and his is 23 feet long, and he finds that very scary.
My dad says, yes, my dad texted and said they probably ran his license plate. That's how they found out his name.
Oh, to know that that's the shark.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to get caught swimming without a license. I would not swim with sharks, okay?
But it's the biggest shark. You want to be in that picture. It makes you look very small.
The Riot's future, 2 words. Goat Farm. Radio U.
The year is 2004, and Motorola blows up the phone world.
That was one of my first phones. It was a pink one.
Oh, man.
A pink Razor.
I honestly, I don't know if since then I've wanted a phone like I wanted that phone. I wanted a Razor phone so badly that when it came to Verizon in $2004, I paid $200 for it.
I have still seen people have this phone.
Really?
Yes.
I can't believe it still works.
It does. Well, people just use the calling feature because a couple of years ago, spending so much money on a smartphone, for a little bit, it became popular to instead like use a tablet, and you would have your phone just make phone calls. Right. And so you'd have another larger device that would do more, but that's kind of backed off from now. But yeah, during that time, I was like, you still have this thing? And they're like, yeah, still works.
Man, it's amazing. Well, the Razor broke all records. Like in 2005, they sold over 50 million Razor phones. The Razor 2 came out in 2007, which was smaller, but didn't take off the way the first one did. And 2008 saw the introduction of the iPhone.
Yeah, that was it then.
And so that was kind of the beginning of the end for that kind of a phone. But Motorola is just like, hey, guys.
We can bring it back.
The Razor's coming back. And it is.
Kyle just texted. He's from Arkansas. I said, I'd still rock a Razor. But now, Kyle, you listen to these details and you tell us if you'd buy a Razor.
They say they're making 200,000 of them. It's going to be a limited edition
and this is
device.
A Razor phone.
Yeah.
Not Razor like shaving razor.
It's going to be $1,500.
Why is it so much money?
What could they possibly... Now, they say that it will have a foldable screen. So
but
what? Like a smart screen that like closes? Is it going to be a smartphone though, right?
I don't know.
At $1,500, it has to be.
I don't know.
Yes, it does.
I don't know what they're doing.
You listen to me, Nikki.
I'm not Razor.
You listen to me.
I know.
I'm telling everybody it has to be a smartphone.
I don't know. I have no idea why it's so much money. I don't think then it's not like the Razor of past.
No, it's not. So the original Razor without like just buying it new would have been $600. So apparently I got mine on a contract.
Yeah, it was probably cheaper.
Yeah, $1,500 for this phone. Like, oh, guys, phones are getting out of control. Like, it's just, it is out of control. All right, $1,600. I don't have. I'm trying to think through the things I own. If you remove my car, I don't own anything that's worth that.
Well, you got to get a better phone.
No, I don't.
That's how much these things cost nowadays.
Like even my laptop here, not $1,500. Like if you went and bought me a brand new MacBook Air 13-inch, not $1,500. My graphics card at home. See, these are the things I value. I hate jewelry, so I got no. It's not that. I got nothing.
Well, you could have this. So if you were like, oh my gosh, I totally want the Razor, it's a limited run of them, but you too could spend so much money.
No, I'm not getting one. I really am interested in them unveiling it, though, because I want to know. And I realize $1,500, not that much for a phone these days. But what the heck do they have packed in a $1,500 folding phone?
To make it that much.
Okay, Aaron says, don't you have a 70-inch TV? Aaron, are you sitting down?
Guys, okay. Now, Obi, and we're getting close to Super Bowl season, so please pay attention. Because after Super Bowl time is when you're going to find a lot of these.
My TV cost just over $400.
And it was a new one, but there's two terms you got to learn. Open box.
Open box.
And there's an even better one. No box.
No box.
And the discounts that can be found just because they brought it back and there's no box, the savings are amazing.
So my 70-inch TV was just over $400, and it gets worse / better. I sold my existing TV for about $250. So I definitely
you were just fine.
For like $160, I made the jump. So
well, Carl said how cool I would look forward to flicking the razor open with his thumb, and that's easily worth $1,000 of the $1,600 price.
Yes, indeed.
We say that now, but I don't know. It's a lot of money. Everything's a lot of money.
Man, Nikki, I'm trying to make friends, not money.
Come on.
Once again, there just wasn't enough material for Best of the Riot. Actually, there wasn't any Best of the Riot at all. None. Zero. Look, it's all bad. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not bad. It's the worst. RadioU.
So you've got yourself a nice horsey. But for various reasons, you need to sell your horse. Maybe you can't afford to keep it anymore.
It seems like the common theme for like these older horses is they're all, what they think is given to like a forever horse home. And I know you think, to the farm in air quotes, but no, like you would sell your horse, even though technically I think the selling part is where the shadiness starts in this, but you would donate a horse. It would go to like a sanctuary or something.
Well, that's what Fallon Blackwood, she is a senior studying veterinary medicine at Tuskegee University. So she says that, she doesn't say. They're alleging that what she was doing is that over the last couple of years, as this veterinary student, she's familiar with the horse culture, and she was going around to owners saying, hey, I see that you're selling your horse. I cannot afford to buy your horse. However, I'm looking for a horse to come and be a stable mate with my my racing horse.
She would offer to rehome them or find other places to rehome them to go to.
I've got a sanctuary they can live in, like on and on. Basically saying like, hey, I can't buy your horse, but I can take care of your horse. And she would have a couple of different stories that she would give horse owners, and they would just be like, no, that would be wonderful.
So they think that she probably took about 50 horses over a period of time.
So, Nikki, where did she take them?
Well, they have gone to Mexico.
Yeah, which, you know what?
Nope.
Mexico's a nice place.
This is, okay, so in case you did not know this, in other parts of the world, horse meat is perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. In our country, we do not eat horse meat, but...
and I think it's become, people are trying to get it to be illegal to slaughter horses.
But I think you can, it's very confusing because there's lots of shady laws where like you can slaughter a horse, but not here, but there. Like it's just very weird, the rules with it.
Right.
But what this vet student was doing is she would offer to rehome these horses, but instead she would be selling them then to slaughterhouses in Mexico and then pocketing the money because they'd be buying the horses.
Whoa.
And so now they found out, and everybody is, there's all these like missing, not missing, these posters about all these horses. They're these very nice older looking horses who were probably taken to Mexico and they've been killed.
That's, yes, basically what Nikki said. They, in some cases, she stole the horses. And in other cases, they're like, hey, my horse was taken under false pretenses. Have you seen them? And it's like...
It's so sad because like they're all like, here's Daisy, there's Donkey, there's Sadie, fancy, like all these horse
Dragon.
names. Yeah, it's so sad to read these things.
And somebody somewhere is like Dragon Soup.
No, yeah, that's common in other parts of the world, but that's not what these people were doing with these horses. Because it's easy to sell your horse for slaughter.
Right.
They could have done that too.
Right.
But instead they had wanted to rehome it to save
horse.
it. Yeah.
It was their pet or whatever you call a horse. Companion.
So it's
I don't know.
Really sad to read this story.
Yeah. Dude, she was lying to them and selling their horses to slaughterhouses. Mm-hmm. People are crazy.
Yes, they are.
You can't make this stuff up unless you're making up that you're taking the horse to a sanctuary. That you can make up.
So they said that a person who had donated their horse got suspicious when she stopped answering messages and would not share photos of the horse in the new sanctuary.
Mm-hmm. So
that was it.
She got busted. So that's it for General and for Blondie.
Oh, it's such cute horse names, too. And you're like, where's the horse at? I think it's gone.
You're going to be a lot happier if you don't ask any questions.
Yeah, you don't want to know at that point.
The Riot is the radio equivalent of Taco Bell meat. Radio U.
A brand new opportunity, Nikki.
Yay, first time talking with them.
We have never met Apollo LTD before, and there they is.
What's
up? Hey, everybody.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good.
We're doing pretty good. Feeling good today.
If you guys are listening but you're not watching, you can go to facebook.com/RadioU and you can find us talking to them live or catch the video archive later.
And so that's your studio, right, that you guys work out of?
Currently, it is a disaster.
It's a little bit in shambles at the moment. We're a little bit self-conscious about the rest of the world seeing it at the moment.
Can we just,
but yes.
Focus on you guys, right?
Yeah, look, we'll zoom in on you a little bit and see if we can squeeze it out a little bit.
Now, for
honestly,
us,
we don't care.
We don't have a studio. Like, our studio is a radio studio, but not as a band studio. So we wouldn't know what a messy one. It just looks creative, not messy.
Yeah, it's a creative space.
Yes.
That's a nice way to say it. It's a creative space.
Yes.
That's
we're
a polite
building
way.
a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Right now we're in the midst of building a bunch of stuff out for shows in 2019 and finishing a record. So there's guitars and cables and things everywhere.
I don't think our wives would use the word creative to describe the way this looks right now.
They're not here. It's not their business.
We're not going to
whatever.
tattle.
Yeah.
We're not going to tattle on you guys.
You
We're
know
fine.
what? You're right, man. That's right. They're not here. You can't tell us.
I want to go to school on the background just a little bit. What's the big whiteboard in the back? What's
with
that?
all the writing?
It's got all that writing on it. What does that say?
So that actually is
Get out of the way.
something my wife gave me for my birthday a couple years ago. It's Winston Churchill, actually. And that last line on it is, what is it? Who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails daring greatly.
Ooh, that's nice. That's nice. That's
Just
a very
trying to
good
put some
quote.
good vibes out in the studio, you know?
Yeah, that's very nice.
Right on. So we are talking to Apollo LTD. Look, I have to ask a dumb question, but I can't be the only person that wonders it. When we got your music the first time, we were like, is it Apollo Limited? Is it Apollo LTD? What's the LTD?
Adam, you want to answer that?
I hate asking bands about their names.
we didn't find it.
In the building, we have so many times been like, okay, now which one is it and what is it?
Yeah.
Can we take a poll first? Like, what percentage think it's limited, and what percentage think it's just LTD?
Nikki and I
So you
both thought it was.
We
both thought it was limited
in the very first time, but then we were good to check, so then we found out. But we just never found out the reference of what it actually comes from.
Yeah.
Should we make up an interesting story, or should we just tell them?
We should tell them the truth.
Just tell us the truth. Just tell us
Don't
the
lie
truth.
to us, lies.
Okay, so the Apollo part, oddly enough, I grew up in a family around space. My uncle was an astronaut.
Nice.
Super random.
Who gets to say that? At a dinner table, it's like,
Well, it's an uncle. It starts to get a little separated. So, but it was cool.
Dude, I'll
nonetheless.
bet your dad got tired of hearing about your uncle being an astronaut.
Sure. Yeah, yes.
No, tell us again about being an astronaut.
Woo us over Thanksgiving dinner another year.
Yeah, one more time.
So we, I grew up around space, so I've always kind of had an affinity for space, and nonetheless, it's bled into our music over the years. And so anyway, we had when Adam and I started the band, we thought a cool name would be Apollo, and as fate would have it, the music industry has lawyers, things like lawyers and attorneys,
yes.
come to you and go, "Hey guys, love the music. Great band name. I will never be able to protect this. You guys are just asking for problems if you're just going to go." So we were like, he goes, "I don't care if you throw 3 letters at the beginning of it or 3 letters after it. It just has to be Apollo something or whatever." And that's where
LTD
happened.
like, well,
because we couldn't do
okay.
LED because that's a television and no one wants to talk about TVs.
Sure.
Okay,
It's kind of like when you create a passcode, you don't know what to put at the end, and so you're just like, ding, ding, ding. You just pick a couple.
Yeah, right? Let's not do Apollo 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
here,
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
With a
It's
little-
kind of like when Apple wants you to reset your password for the 37th time. And after a while, you're like, oh my gosh.
Must use password you have not used in the last 6 months.
Dude.
So you just tack on something at the end. So that's it.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I appreciate the honesty of that answer. I'm not looking for deep meaning. I just want to know.
Yeah.
Now you know.
Now you know.
You know.
Technically, it's LTD, but if people say limited,
you're not going to hate it.
Okay.
All right. Well, now you know for
we don't
Apollo
hate
LTD.
it. We're not divas.
Okay. All right.
We're
Well,
not
again,
divas.
I apologize for asking, but again, I got to be honest. Everybody wanted to know, and I'm
We
just
all
like,
are curious.
I'm doing it. I'm asking
That's
that
awesome.
question.
So,
man.
have you guys?
No
Totally
apologies.
Did we see you guys have been around since about 2015?
Yeah, it's been a few years now.
Yeah.
So, how did you guys get to?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying,
you,
how
Obi.
did you guys get started?
He's like, go for it.
So Jordan and I were randomly paired as roommates in college our freshman year.
Nice.
So we have known each other for a long time.
Too long.
And it was a matter of time before we just started creating music together. So we were actually in a band before this band for 6 years, 8, 7.
Wow.
I lost count. 8 years. And when that band came, we did 3 records with that band and toured the wheels off of our van. And when that band was over, we just we kind of got together and we were like, well, we didn't really know what was next. We were just going to go ahead and write and create because we felt like that was something that, it was a gift that we'd been given, this ability to do that. So we just felt responsible of like, man, we can't just waste this. Like we need to just at least get together and write a couple times a week and just see what happens with no agenda. We'll just write with no agenda. And eventually we had a batch of songs, and those batch of songs we started showing friends, and then it kind of organically just became a band.
Okay, cool. So you guys have done 1 EP, or is it 2 EPs?
Well, we have one that's out right now. There's an EP that came out a while ago that's been currently taken down.
A mystery EP?
Okay.
But it may come back. It may make
one
a
day.
resurgence at some
We convinced the label to let us put that out at some point. So.
Okay, we'll have to see if that pops back out then.
So, but in the meantime,
there's a lot of angry YouTubers out there that are like really dying for us to put that old EP back.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in the meantime, like you guys are working on a new album right now. You said like you're in the studio doing it right now.
Yes. Yeah, we're literally as we get off the phone with you, lovely people, we're going to be back making noise in here. So we're finishing up the last 3 songs on our record. So
everybody hates this question, but I got to ask this one too.
This is Apollo LTD, by the way.
Apollo LTD. When do you think we'll hear it?
No pressure, but
just curious. That's all.
Hey, that's a great question.
I will say I think you'll hear it, or at least you'll hear parts of it within the next few months.
Okay.
For sure.
There's another single coming out at the end of February, right?
Yes.
And then the album should be out early spring.
Okay. All right. Well, this is Apollo LTD, and that song that you've heard from us is Gold.
It's such a good song, by the way, guys. Everybody loves it. It's such a good song.
So, you know what? We're excited.
Thanks.
Excited to get a chance to meet you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Cleveland celebrates failure with a parade. We celebrate failure with the worst of the riots.
I'm sure that there are women among us, and men I know, absolutely, that don't want to get married. Though I will tell you, whether you're a man or a woman, if you are very insistent about not wanting to get married, I just assume you're dying to.
Yeah, that kind of seems like you're more likely to, whereas, I don't know, maybe it just deep down you maybe really want to, but you're always talking about it.
Mm-hmm. So there is a report floating around our interwebs of a bride. Mm-hmm. Nikki, you've been a bride.
Yes, I was a bride.
Some people say that you still are.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But there's a report of this bride who is asking her bridesmaids to wear colored contacts because some of their eye colors clash with the dresses.
Well, that is so mean or rude or just...
Well, is it?
I feel like it is. When you first hear it, you feel like it is.
I'm going to take the other side here for just a moment so we can explore the space.
Yes, let's explore
the space. Okay.
Let's explore.
If I came to you and said, Nikki, your bridesmaid dress is going to be red. And I want you to wear this color nail polish that day. Here's the nail polish.
No, that's not uncommon. That is not uncommon.
All right, that is you taking a substance to cover up the natural pigmentation of your body.
Well, I feel like you could say that, but for contacts, not everybody wears them. And colored contact lenses can actually be damaging to your eyes. Whereas with nail polish, that's more normal. People, will supply that as a gift usually to the bridesmaids, and it doesn't do any damage to your nails.
Okay, well, the wedding color that she wants the dress to be is chartreuse.
Chartreuse? What is that? I mean, I think I know this.
Well, what do you think it is?
Chartreuse. Is it a blue? No, it's a pink. Is it a pink? Yeah, I think it is.
And she feels like blue eyes will totally clash with that.
And so if you have blue eyes, you need to change and wear the contacts?
She thinks that really the best thing to do is that if all the bridesmaids just had the same eye color, and so they would all wear a brown...
A brown eye?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but people don't really, your eye's your eyes. That doesn't clash with outfits. It just, your eyes is what they are.
Well, that's not true. I often hear people say like, oh, that black brings out the darkness in your eyes.
Well, that's normal.
Oh, because that's all I wear is black.
That's into your soul.
But no, I'll hear like, ooh, that brings out the blue in your eyes, so you'll wear blue.
Yes, but it usually enhances. It's not if someone says it clashes. Like your hair color's one thing. Your hair color can tend to decide, or your skin tone will decide like if a color works better or not.
Mm-hmm.
But she's not asking them to change that.
So
just the color contacts lenses?
Yes. Like that. Would you? Okay.
No, I wouldn't. I've
it?
never worn contacts. That weirds me out. I don't want to.
Contact lenses do?
Yeah, I don't want to.
So, okay, then is the problem the idea that I want you to change your eye color, or I just don't like contacts?
Both. It'd be both.
What if you offered to wear? Could you wear glasses?
Well, how does that change? Like sunglasses so they can't see my eye color?
Well, we just draw brown circles on the glasses.
Hey, I have brown eyes. I'm fine in this one.
Okay, well,
I'm clear in this case.
So you're brown eyes probably go with everything.
Pretty much.
All right. Well, guess it's okay then.
It's not okay, I feel like she's asked. It's how you ask things, too. If they all wore color contacts lenses anyways and it wasn't a big deal, well, then that would be perfectly fine. But if it was demanding and it was not in a nice... Remember, my big thing is tone. Tone
is important.
And especially like if she's texting or emailing this request. I don't think her tone was the best if it's gotten out there.
I feel like this is a tone that, I don't feel like there is a tone for this.
You're supposed to thank them and make them feel appreciated for being a part of your day, because it's a lot to be a part of the wedding party.
Yeah.
And it should be nice.
Yeah, but tone is a thing. Like, I once had a friend ask me to drop him off at the airport, keep his car at my house, drive back to the airport in his car, and then bring an Uber home so he wouldn't have to bring me home.
Now, so if you guys are really good friends and you deep down wouldn't have mind doing something like that, well, that's one thing. But how did he ask you to do all that? Did he demand?
It was all text, so I couldn't get a tone.
Yeah, to me, that bothers me.
So, maybe this is all tone, Nikki.
Could be, but would you wear color contact lenses if you had to for the party, for the bridesmaid? No? Yes?
I don't know.
I don't know if you would?
I don't know.
The Riot believes in truth, justice, the American way, and high-speed internet. No, faster. Radio U.
That's Nikki. I'm Obadiah, and you're afraid.
Afraid of what?
You're not afraid of us. You're afraid of statistics. Now, when I read the headline for this story, I was like, oh, yeah, these statistics in the news have just got us all riled up. But that's not what they're talking about. The University of Kansas, they did research on why do so many undergrads put their statistics class off until their senior year of college. Mm-hmm. So many people bump it back. And they said that 80% of those that they surveyed had what they called statistics anxiety. They were afraid
of the class,
of their statistics class.
But it's not like that's known to be like the worst. So, but apparently it is for a lot of people.
Nikki, just because you don't have the problem doesn't mean it's not a problem. I don't have the
fear of it, then it's not apparently what some other people are being afflicted by.
There's a lot of people out there with statistics anxiety, and they're saying that. And so they've been digging into it, going like, all right, what's the problem here?
Yeah.
They just say that a lot of undergrads are scared of math, and they also think that it's useless. And I'll just have to say,
that
you know
might
what?
go first in the statement, maybe thinking it's more useless than they are worried about it.
I would actually argue that statistics is probably one of the best classes you could get in college. Statistics and logic. If you could please learn to think logically, it would change your world. That's one. And two, understanding statistics a little better. And I'll tell you why I think they interrelate. Because you are bombarded constantly by clickbait, news articles, whatever. And here's what you're going to find. Most of the nude articles you read, most of the...
yes.
Have you noticed a problem today?
Well, just a couple words you said wrong is no big deal.
Most of the news articles you read today contain almost no logic whatsoever.
Sure.
They are editorials that are disguising themselves as news, right? So when you begin to think logically and you start looking at it like whatever, the other thing is you'll start to see news articles that make large sweeping statements about a single study done on a single topic. And if you don't know anything about statistics, you might be like, 85% of all students have statistical anxiety disorder?
And you're running with it.
And then you go, wait a second, sample size 1,000, sample size of this. And then I don't even know, like, what was their margin for error? Like, there's so many things about it you don't understand. And when you take a statistics class, you begin to learn, like, 95% of statistics are worthless.
Yeah.
I made that up, but so is most of what you see in the news.
Could be.
But again, I'm telling you, take an intro to logic class, take a statistics class.
It also depends on
totally worth it.
How people pick classes, which, I mean, varies from person to person. Sometimes I wanted to get things over with, so I might have went with harder classes, and you get them early. Some people balance it out. You have a little of the classes you're not looking forward to, and you have some fun ones, and others you push off all the ones you might not want to do, and you get all the fun ones done first.
The only issue I had in my stats class was I finally went to the professor, and I was like, excuse me, like, where did this formula come from? And he's like, what do you mean? And I was like, I don't know. I don't understand this formula. And he was like, oh, you don't have to understand the formula. Just use it. And I was like, yeah, but shouldn't I grasp the underlying reasoning behind the formula? He's like, no. He's like, that would be like a couple classes down the line. You don't have to do that. Like, oh, well, I don't have statistical anxiety anymore. Thank you, Dr. Strayer.
And then you take the class and you're done.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
So what are you, Jason? An elastomobranchiologist?